strong words as Brown's trade decision to impact Shedeur Sanders. Deion Sanders, famously known as Coach Prime, has never coached just for the wins. As ESPN's Stephen A. Smith once put it, Deion's not just building athletes, he's building men. And he's doing it while walking through battles most people don't see. The two-sport phenom and NFL Hall of Famer is now a transformative college football coach, helping the Colorado Buffaloes build a legacy. His presence electrifies any room or locker room he steps into. But in recent years, Coach Prime has been facing battles off the field. After undergoing multiple foot surgeries, including toe amputations due to blood circulation issues, his health journey has been nothing short of grueling. Coach Prime's dedication and show of heart have properly transitioned from his days as a player to his days as a coach. Colorado Athletic Director Rick George, on speaking about Deion's ability to coach through pain, once said, "He's the ultimate competitor, the ultimate motivator." Even when he was in the hospital, he was texting staff, planning practices, mentoring kids. That's just who he is. And in his latest post, the father of Shiloh and Shadur Sanders has once again embodied these statements. Amidst his undisclosed physical struggles, the 57-year-old took to Instagram and shared some strong words of wisdom, telling his well-wishers to focus on the future and the times ahead. Coach Prime shared a picture of his tweet on X and shared it on Instagram, writing, "Let's make today special, and let's not take today for granted." Hashtag Coach Prime. Battling his health demons quietly, he continued being a leader loudly. He wrote, "Let's not be anxious to get into things we can't get out of as quick as we got into them. Satisfaction that happens quick ain't worth your time or your dime. Be patient and be wise because everything ain't what it seems to be once you get into it. Take your time." Hashtag Coach Prime. Even in his time of struggle, Sanders does not seek attention for himself. He believes in drive and purpose. With a mindset to see his players and his sons at the top, Deion wants his followers to live every dream that he did. Weighing in on Sanders' effect on the generations ahead, NFL Hall of Famer Michael Irvin once said, "Deion's not just a coach. He's a purpose. He walks with purpose, he talks with purpose, and these kids follow him because he's lived every dream they have." And these kids include Coach Prime's son, Shadur Sanders. The 23-year-old faces a pivotal moment in his career. And the rumblings inside the Cleveland Browns organization suggest that HC Kevin Stefanski is considering a trade, one that may turn things around for the better for Sanders. Shadur Sanders can play for the Browns as HC Kevin Stefanski plans on trading Kenny Pickett, according to the NFL insider Mike Florio. Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski is reportedly weighing the option of trading backup quarterback Kenny Pickett. The move, if completed, would all but guarantee Shadur Sanders a secure roster spot and potentially fast-track his opportunity to start down the line. While many believe that the Browns are ready to head into the training camp with 4 quarterbacks, Florio believes that Stefanski might just trade Pickett before it's time to cut the roster from 90 to 53, reducing the team's QB stress. Florio, writing for Pro Football Talk, revealed, "It's entirely possible that the Browns are putting out the notion that they plan to take all 4 quarterbacks to training camp in order to create some/any trade leverage. If no one believes they'll keep quarterbacks in the fold for camp, one of them surely won't get the reps he needs to compete. No one will be willing to offer anything for the odd man out. We continue to think that, if there is one, it's Pickett." Kenny Pickett arrived in Cleveland as a backup after failing to secure the starting job for the Pittsburgh Steelers. His NFL experience gives him seniority, but it does not necessarily guarantee security. With a low touchdown total and a concerning turnover ratio, Pickett hasn't yet proven he can lead an offense consistently. Shadur, on the other hand, remains untested at the pro level. Yet his college numbers are elite. A 9-to-1 TD-to-NT ratio, nearly 70% completion, and an uncanny ability to read defenses, all while playing behind a historically bad offensive line. It signals that he may be more ready than his status suggests. If Kevin Stefanski moves Kenny Pickett, Shadur Sanders will instantly become the most dynamic young QB on the Browns roster behind Deshaun Watson. And with Watson's own injury history and inconsistency, Shadur could be one call away from leading a playoff-ready team. While Deion Sanders faces uncertainty with his health, seeing his son get a chance to shine will only make his heart smile. The question that remains is, will Shadur Sanders be able to make the most of this potential opportunity? Shedeur Sanders already takes new role with Browns after Kevin Stefanski makes QB trade decision. Per Insider, in the middle of football camp, rookies find it difficult to consume and internalize the thick playbooks and the tough grind on the field. But if you are a QB like Shadur Sanders, the burden of expectations only adds to the weight. Yet he chose to set aside some time from his busy schedule to bring about entertainment for his fans and also the next generation of the sport. He was at the Cleveland Browns youth camp and watched the young kids throw the ball, tackle, and run, similar things he would do as a child and still does as a professional football player. So at the youth camp, he decided to do something different instead of the same old routine and took on the role that his brother, Deion Sanders Jr., is usually seen in. Shadur became the cameraman, and so, the Cleveland Browns Instagram account posted, Shadur was on the other side of the camera at our youth camp, along with a picture that read, Shadur took the camera. In a short clip, the rookie QB was heard saying, "I got you," to the original cameraman. "I know it's an expensive camera, bro. I got you," he said and took the camera to proceed with filming. His first interaction with a kid went like, "Shadur, what else?" "Kid, I'm like that. I'm just like that." "Shadur, yeah." At one point, Shadur even fumbled the camera and exclaimed, "Oh," before getting back to his antics and yelling, "We want a live stream. Say what's up." He then spoke to another kid. "Shadur, what you gotta say, bro? That was a dart. What you gotta say?" "Kid, I'm the Rizzler." "Shadur, yeah, the Rizzler." In an interview a month ago, the QB had shared how excited he was to give back to the Cleveland community, and it seems that's exactly what he is doing. "Where I find my peace, my happiness, my joy is to be able to have a positive influence on the youth," he had shared. And while his outlook is positive, he will have to fight hard to break out as a starter with the Browns. The competition for the QB1 position is tough, as the team has 4 signal callers. No wonder, several kids at the youth camp wanted to know if Shadur would be the QB1. "Are you starting or is Joe Flacco starting?" one camper questioned, to which Shadur replied, "Nobody knows." Perhaps this was the most truthful answer he could have given. Currently, no one, including HC Kevin Stefanski, knows who will be under center week 1. However, the OTAs and minicamp witnessed strong performances from Shadur Sanders. The next hurdle will be the training camp, which begins at the end of July. All the 4 QBs, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and Sanders, will have to put their best foot forward in practices and preseason games. Eventually, one of them will get the nod to become the starter. However, as of now, Shadur Sanders appears to be behind the 3 other QB, yet things might change in the coming weeks. And that's precisely why the rumor mill is constantly churning out ideas by the minute. The latest has to do with Pickett himself, which could boost Shadur's role. What is it? Kevin Stefanski rumored to trade Pickett could help Shadur Sanders. The Browns only picked Pickett up earlier this year, trading him from the Eagles. But as time goes on, a daunting pattern begins to emerge regarding the 27-year-old. It's already his 3rd team since he got drafted number 20 overall in 2022. On top of that, Cleveland.com's Mary Kay Cabot confirmed that the Browns will not be picking up his 5th-year option. This is essentially their way of ensuring their other quarterbacks are remaining on short-term deals now that Sanders and Gabriel are the younger QBs on their team. Their low base salaries and cap numbers have helped the team maintain all the QBs from a financial standpoint. Those 4 have a combined cap number of $7.6 million, but the team's decision to keep 4 QBs instead of the traditional 2 might be tested this offseason, with Pickett rumored to be on the move. Without Pickett, the Browns would have one less veteran to overtake the rookies, giving Shadur a clearer path to more practice reps and game snaps. Gabriel and Sanders will remain under team control through 2028, so Cleveland has an incentive to keep developing them. Do you think Shadur Sanders will start for the team? Let us know in the comments below. Browns legend delivers worst news for Shadur Sanders in 52 seconds with bold trade prediction. Despite coming to the Browns as a 5th-round pick, 144th overall, the rookie Shadur Sanders started off on a high. In the rookie minicamp, OTAs, and even the mandatory minicamps, he stayed up late. Just a young boy trying to get those extra reps that will seal a spot on the roster. But in the world that sometimes kicks down reality in you, good news is hard to come by. And it gets saddening, especially when a legend speaks up. During the June 16th episode of The Hanford-Dixon Show, the Browns legend sat down to answer some questions from the host, Gabriela Cruz. The biggest takeaway from the show was his prophetic 52-second statement about the starting QB in the franchise. If it comes true, the rookies will be hurt more than anyone. He started off the 2024 season when the franchise dealt with injuries. However, Dixon also gave out the worst news for Shadur Sanders pretty plainly and said, "I think we're going to have to maybe trade one to someone else to see if we can get some draft picks or something. It depends on, I think, Joe's Flacco. Sack. I think he's the one that will start. I think, Kenny Pickett, they would love to see him rise through the cage and maybe start to play well, but you never know." Now that's a doomsday scenario for the rookie. If he gets traded, it will be another enormous blow to his NFL dreams. He has been sweating really hard in practice, trying to gain some respect from his teammates. Now, the Browns' QB room is bursting at the seams. And most of us forget one player. Their highest-paid QB, Deshaun Watson, will also try hard to come back this year. They need clarity. While the franchise tries to sort out its QB room, the QB is getting attacked from all sides. We know he likes to get flashy, showing off chains and cars, but this time, it backfired on him. Remember the viral video when Shadur Sanders showed off an olive green Rolls-Royce? It was his way of entertaining his fans, but many analysts and even fans didn't like it. Tom Brady already warned him to focus on the tape and spend more time in film rooms than checking out car collections. Now, the mystery box has opened. The Rolls-Royce wasn't his. That's the part people missed. Yet the story was a hot topic until his brother, Shedeur Sanders, finally shut it down in a vlog. Why would y'all think this was Shedur's? Who said anything about this being Shedur's? Nobody said that. Y'all just made your own story and ran with it. But the story already had a life of its own. And by the time the truth arrived, it barely mattered. Former wideout and Browns legend Dante Stallworth didn't hold back when asked how he'd feel upon seeing a rookie rolling around in a Rolls-Royce. He talked about what Brady told him before adding the optics part. He cautioned Shedeur Sanders, if he, Shedeur, goes out and at some point becomes a starter and is the franchise quarterback, no one will be talking about this. But if things don't work out and they spiral, then this is going to be one of the things that people will say that contributed to the downfall, or at least the mindset of not being aware of the optics and kind of taking the situation seriously. It's a tough situation for the Browns rookie. One legend is telling him to be aware of these moves that might create problems down the road for him. Another legend has already warned, even going to the brink of a trade. His hopes of being a starter are far from turning into a reality. Legendary QB shares what's next for Shadur Sanders amid Browns exit rumors. The endorsement isn't just coming from Hasselbeck. At a Texas Rangers game, Myles Garrett, who's watched Sanders up close, told Abby Jones, "The kid's shown up to camp and OTAs with a fantastic mindset. You want teammates like that." Garrett admitted he was shocked Sanders fell to the 5th round, but loves the underdog fire it's lit under him. Between Hasselbeck's measured optimism and Garrett's locker room stamp of approval, one thing's clear. Sanders might be the Browns' most fascinating project. But with Cleveland likely QB shopping in 2025, his window to prove he's more than a camp standout is closing fast. Shadur Sanders' battle against Cleveland's QB carousel. The Browns might already be planning their next QB move, and it could leave Shadur Sanders on the outside looking in. Despite signing a 4-year, $4.6 million deal and turning heads in camp, Cleveland's long-term QB plans remain murky. Analysts like Ethan Woody of NFL Trade Rumors predict the Browns will be right back in the market in 2026, eyeing Texas star Arch Manning. He said, "Manning has a big name to live up to. It's impressive that in the few games we've seen him in action, he's lived up to the billing and then some. His command of the offense is advanced for his age, plays with impeccable timing and touch." The math doesn't favor Sanders. Cleveland already has 4 QBs, Flacco, Pickett, Gabriel, Sanders, and 0 commitments beyond 2025. Flacco's on a 1-year deal. Pickett's a reclamation project. If Manning declares, or another top 2026 QB like Carson Beck emerges, the Browns won't hesitate to reset. That's right. Again, Manning's no lock to enter the draft has 2 years of eligibility remaining. But if he does, Cleveland's front office has shown it'll chase big names. On the other hand, Sanders' $4.6 million contract is cheap to walk away from. His accuracy and attitude, fantastic mindset, per Myles Garrett, might earn him a backup role, but the Browns' history with developmental QBs is brutal. Hence, Shedeur is fighting for more than a roster spot. He's racing against a front office that's always eyeing the next big thing. Here's the cold reality. NFL dreams don't come with guarantees. Shadur Sanders has the college pedigree, the work ethic, and now Hasselbeck's cautious endorsement. But Cleveland's front office plays the long game, and their history shows they'll cut bait fast if a shinier toy hits the market. Between Hasselbeck's measured optimism and Garrett's locker room stamp of approval, one thing's clear. Sanders might be the Browns' most fascinating project. But with Cleveland likely QB shopping in 2025, his window to prove he's more than a camp standout is closing fast. Shadur Sanders' battle against Cleveland's QB carousel. The Browns might already be planning their next QB move, and it could leave Shadur Sanders on the outside looking in. Despite signing a 4-year, $4.6 million deal and turning heads in camp, Cleveland's long-term QB plans remain murky. Analysts like Ethan Woody of NFL Trade Rumors predict the Browns will be right back in the market in 2026, eyeing Texas star Arch Manning. He said, "Manning has a big name to live up to. It's impressive that in the few games we've seen him in action, he's lived up to the billing and then some. His command of the offense is advanced for his age, plays with impeccable timing and touch." The math doesn't favor Sanders. Cleveland already has 4 QBs, Flacco, Pickett, Gabriel, Sanders, and 0 commitments beyond 2025. Flacco's on a 1-year deal. Pickett's a reclamation project. If Manning declares, or another top 2026 QB like Carson Beck emerges, the Browns won't hesitate to reset. That's right. Again, Manning's no lock to enter the draft has 2 years of eligibility remaining. But if he does, Cleveland's front office has shown it'll chase big names. On the other hand, Sanders' $4.6 million contract is cheap to walk away from. His accuracy and attitude, fantastic mindset, per Myles Garrett, might earn him a backup role, but the Browns' history with developmental QBs is brutal. Hence, Shedeur is fighting for more than a roster spot. He's racing against a front office that's always eyeing the next big thing. Here's the cold reality. NFL dreams don't come with guarantees. Shadur Sanders has the college pedigree, the work ethic, and now Hasselbeck's cautious endorsement. But Cleveland's front office plays the long game, and their history shows they'll cut bait fast if a shinier toy hits the market. CU Buff's 330 pounds prodigy sets expectations with Andrew Swayze admission after practice buzz. There's something happening in Boulder that just doesn't make sense. A 330-pound OL is beating defensive ends in 200-meter sprints. But that's the reality inside Colorado's weight room ever since Deion Sanders handed the keys to head strength and conditioning legend Andrew Swayze back in January. A 15-year Miami veteran, he helped mold NFL bodies in Coral Gables and brought his no-nonsense, full-send approach to Boulder. I love the platform, this opportunity to help change lives and help y'all get to your goal, Andrew Swayze previously told Well Off Media. "We didn't sign up here with Coach Prime to be average. When we go in there, you better buckle up." That statement alone raised the bar, rep by brutal rep, and it led to the moment that had Buff Nation doing double takes on their prized OL Jordan Seaton. On June 17th, the pregame network episode, Jordan Seaton was the topic of bewildered admiration. He's a 6'5", 330-pound left tackle and former 5-star player who is surprisingly one of the fastest big men CU has ever had. So much that it had host Uncle Neely reeling with questions. "I saw something, and I want somebody to explain to me what I saw. Because what I saw it, but I didn't believe it. But I saw a 300-pound offensive lineman run 3 200s and beat defensive ends doing it." But for the 19-year-old sophomore, it's not the math but the mindset that he and Coach Andrew Swayze developed. To put in words, "Me and Swayze had a conversation coming into the season of an expectation we got for ourselves," Jordan Seaton said. "We want to be number one. So in order to be number one, you got to be able to do stuff that a person your size or somebody that's smaller than you can't do. You got to be able to do the little things better, His process is ruthless discipline with accountability to himself for the greater good of his team. Every day I come in and make sure it's like I don't want to lose to nobody, but I also want to win my own race, he added. For me, it's just like winning myself every morning and then just making sure I compete to the fullest of what I can. Last season, Jordan Seaton made history as the first true freshman to start at left tackle in CU Buffs history. And the IMG Academy star didn't disappoint a bit, logging 809 snaps, highest among the Buffs' offensive players, allowing just 3 sacks, and winning freshman All-American honors. And now, with Shadur Sanders and Travis Hunter gone, he's becoming a face of the program under Andrew Swayze, who challenged the Buffs to become attractive men. Well, attractive in the sense that teammates look up to you for motivation, and that's exactly what Jordan Seaton is thriving in. Jordan Seaton emerges as a leader under Andrew Swayze's rigorous training. If anyone thought it was just genetics or recruiting stars, the well-off media video earlier this month tells the truth. Players gasping for air, leaning over trash cans, some even getting pulled by trainers. And there's Jordan Seaton, sweaty but steady, barking encouragement. When a lineman dropped out with sheer exhaustion, he rallied motivation, saying, "He's not quitting. He ain't quitting." That belief brought the players back to face the challenge hurled at them. Andrew Swayze sees it. So does Deion Sanders. He's encouraging the guys, telling them what they did and what they need to do. Coach Prime said even back in spring. He's such a good young man, not just the talent, but the character. That's what we're looking for here at CU. Smart, tough, fast, disciplined young men with character. He epitomizes that. Jordan Seaton may not be an outspoken guy, but he makes sure he's leading by action. When you lead in action, you don't really have to say too much because you're seeing it, he said. So it's either you're going to rise to what I'm doing or you're going to be left behind. This fall, Jordan Seaton will anchor a revamped O-line with transfers like Xavier Hill and ZY Chrysler joining the trenches. And if a 300-pounder running 200-meter sprints like a track star is the new normal in Boulder, good luck to the rest of the Big 12. NFLWR with incarcerated father finds a believer in Deion Sanders Jr. after getting fined by coach. Deion Sanders has elevated Colorado football to a program that consistently produces NFL stars, and Coach Prime's 2025 draftees are a testament to that transformation. Sanders will have the credit of hosting the number 2 pick, along with the starry duo of Shedeur and Shiloh. Meanwhile, one important buff has also made his way into the NFL. For this wide receiver, Deion Sanders was more than a coach. He became a father figure. And the support didn't stop there. Deion Sanders Jr. also stepped in, offering consistent encouragement as his former Colorado standout now shines in the NFL right when Jimmy Horn Jr. was set to begin his collegiate career, his world shifted. His father was sentenced to prison. The WR stood at an important point in his life, without such an important figure. He played for South Florida for a year before transferring to Colorado. By this time, Horn had already become a 4-star prospect, an impressive rise from his 3-star rating from high school. And in Colorado, he reached even higher places. Deion Sanders stepped in to support Horn and reassured his father that he would be looking after the WR's development. And it showed. His efforts, and Jimmy Horn Jr.'s hard work, have finally landed him in the NFL. Now, with the Carolina Panthers, the WR is settling in as if it were his home all along. He revealed earlier that this is a team he always wanted to get drafted to. Horn wowed coaches right from the days of the rookie minicamp, with his brilliant speed, body control, and then that explosive element, bursting into his routes. Panthers HC Dave Canales noted of Horn. He keeps growing as a reliable figure in the Panthers receivers room, which also hosts Teteroa McMillan. In a recent clip that showed the WR flexing his running and ball skills from his Colorado days, Bucky also jumped in to support the former Colorado star. "I believe in you, Maine," he wrote in his Instagram story, sharing the video. When it comes to hyping up Colorado boys, Deion Sanders Jr.,